Have you ever had the feeling that you are going through life without really realizing it? Of not being able to fully enter to it? Not being able to give it the importance that it deserves? To exist more than to live? Many meditation programs try to answer this fundamental question. Elevated distress generated by our self-destructive thoughts. One method has been around for many years, but remains little known, even it has many benefits, which have been amply verified and validated by science. This video has produced as part of ERASMUS project in love with the shape of you. Introduce you to this method, which you can start using today. We recommend that you practice it daily for 30 minutes at a time. Not only does meditation not take a lot of time, but meditation can also release them and increase your production and life expectancy. This video focuses on the issue of well-being in teleworking, but can also be applied in other contexts. Although working conditions have never been so comfortable in the developed world, just over half of all workers feel stressed at work, and 7 out of 10 experience nervous fatigue. If you are watching this video, it may be because you suffer from the occasional bout of yawns, putting off the moment when you have to tackle that pile of files and waiting for motivation to suddenly kick in. When you are on video with your colleagues, all you can think about is when you will click on leave the meeting and go back to your guilty thoughts. The worst thing is that in trying to find solutions to your malaise, you often only make things worse. The famous quicksand phenomenon: the more you struggle to free yourself, the deeper you sink. You say to yourself that you should start meditating. Maybe you could get rid of those bad thoughts, clear your mind, and finally relax. But running away from your problems isn't necessarily the answer. And that is the whole point of mindfulness meditation. It acts on your state of mind, inviting you to be benevolent and to take a neutral view of life. Of course, it's not about becoming a fatalist and accepting all life's difficulties without looking for solutions. Rather, it is about analyzing our thoughts and understanding the sequences that lead us from very real external facts to negative internal interpretations. Example: your boss has entrusted an important project to one of your colleagues. First thought: your boss didn't give you this project. Second thought: am I not competent enough? Third thought: I suck. This third thought has nothing to do with the fact mentioned, but that humankind has an incredible capacity to link different ideas, memories, traumas, thoughts, and knowledge together to lead to conclusions which, although sometimes true, are very often false. These thoughts develop when the mind wanders and loses concentration. These thoughts, which appear suddenly, also disappear like bursting soap bubbles. It's quite normal and human to feel sad, angry, or frustrated, just as it is to feel joy. But in the vast majority of cases, these are only fleeting emotions. Mindfulness invites its practitioners to question themselves in a compassionate way, to analyze the flow of their thoughts, to accept the existence of the bad as well as the good, to understand that these thoughts are only thoughts and have no real existence, so as to better refuse to let them dictate their lives and block this cascade of emotions that will inevitably make them more unhappy, irritable, exhausted, and therefore stressed. Scientists have discovered that meditation brings many benefits: improved memory, better immune system, reduced hypertension, chronic stress, cancer, chronic pain, improved memory, development of creativity, reduced reaction time, reduced dependence on alcohol and drugs. Contrary to what you might think, you don't have to be bold, wearing an orange toga and living in a monastery in the Tibetan mountains to meditate. You can do it anywhere, at work, on the bus, while walking, at work, and above all, at home. To rediscover a little joie de vivre, there are some very simple, practical things you can do right now. Change where you work, turn off the TV, or listen to the radio instead. Take a half-hour stroll around your neighborhood. Go and see a random art house film at the cinema. Not feeling happy is not necessarily feeling unhappy, nor is it necessarily linked to a tragic or negative event. Sometimes it is simply routine that sets in, and it's hard to remember when the feeling began. Thinking about it sometimes pushes you more towards the bottom than towards a solution. Sometimes you come out of the feeling without understanding why, and then go back in again without understanding why. Mindfulness specialists generally speak of automatic pilot, where you find yourself doing things without realizing you are doing them. With our minds fogged by everything we have to do today, we get up and are already at the breakfast table, having forgotten what happened in the meantime. You turn on the kettle and find yourself with a hot cup of tea in your hand without really knowing why. You become insensitive to all the little things in everyday life and end up insensitive to everything, and especially to other people.
Choose chocolate of a type you don't know or don't often eat. It can be dark or flavored, organic, fair trade, or whatever you like. The important thing is that it's different from what you're used to eating. Here we go. Open the packet, breathe in the aroma, let the fragrance wash over you. Break off a piece and look at it. Really let your eyes take in its appearance, examining every ridge and irregularity. Put it in your mouth, try to let it melt on your tongue, noting every moment when you're tempted to suck on it. Chocolate has over 300 different tastes. Try to identify a few of them. If you notice that your mind tends to wander, just notice in which direction it's going and gently bring it back to the present moment. When the chocolate has completely melted, swallow it very slowly and consciously. Let it flow down your throat. How does it feel? Is it different from usual? Was the chocolate better than if you had eaten it at full speed as you normally do? Repeat with another piece. Sit in a chair with your back straight. Avoid leaning against the backrest so that your spine supports itself. Your feet should rest flat on the floor. Close your eyes or lower your gaze to the floor in front of you. Concentrate on your breathing movements. Become aware of different sensations as you inhale and exhale. Remain attentive to your breath without waiting for anything in particular to happen. There's no need to modify your breathing. After a while, your thoughts may wander. If so, gently bring your attention back to your breathing. Realizing that your thoughts have wandered and refocusing without blaming yourself is essential to the practice of mindfulness meditation. This exercise may or may not bring you to a state of deep calm. Even a feeling of absolute calm may only be temporary. If you feel angry or irritated, note that this too may be temporary. Whatever you're feeling, accept it as it is. After a minute, open your eyes again and find your bearings in the room.